Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Merriman. To my right, the lovely, we got sweater going today.
It's a short sleeve sweater.
Sally deFries, short sleeve sweater situation. Okay, go off.
Okay.
I'm in the market for a short sleeve sweater now.
Are you? This is pretty
Probably.
girly.
I love sweaters.
I like this. Yeah, I kind of dressed up. Well, I didn't dress up. I'm wearing jean shorts, but we just got back from taking lunch to Fritz's class.
Nice. Happy birthday to the Fritz man, by the way.
His birthday. Yep. So we did that.
Fun.
And I don't know. I feel like I drank a really strong espresso this morning and now my mind is racing. So I need to if I seem really manic this episode, that's why.
Perfect. This is your outlet for that manicness.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, as I said before the episode started, I'm trying to organize 7 people buying tickets to the Sphere, and
Right.
the buy-in is very low.
For those of you who don't know, Sally is going with Randy to Kenny Chesney. Is that right?
No.
Not true. I already bought those tickets a while ago, man. I'm ready to go.
When is Kenny Chesney?
I am going June 11th as a Wednesday.
It's at the Sphere?
Oh, yeah. He's got like 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the Sphere.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Chesney. I'm excited.
Okay.
He sings classics such as
Summertime, beer in Mexico, no shoes, no shirt, no problem.
there we go. That's the
Save
one.
for a Rainy Day, American Kids, Pirate Flag.
Wow, it's like you're just listing out a set list.
When the sun goes down.
Where does K-Ches fall on your
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
she thinks my track? Where does he fall on your Spotify Wrapped?
He's top 5 usually. He's my number
Oh, yeah.
one. Him and Blink are like number 1 and number 2. Maybe 1A,
How old
1B.
is Kenny Chesney?
58?
58?
Probably, I would say. Let's see.
I was going to guess 60.
You're supposed to. You're the lookup guy.
Chesney.
57 was
Yeah.
once
Wow, 50
married,
was pretty close.
was once married to Renee Zellweger.
I didn't know that.
For
I
like,
did know
I
that.
did
for like,
not know that.
for like 4 months.
Yeah, it says from 2005 to 2005.
Yeah, it was a very, very short marriage.
Damn. He's a short cat.
Oh, yeah.
5'7".
5'7", really? I thought he
Yeah.
was more like 5'5", but yeah.
How about that? That'll be fun. I need a Sphere date in my future. Never been.
Well, you're not coming with this crew because of the 7 of us. We're having a lot. It's hard
A lot
to
of
make
issues.
decisions for 7 people.
It
Is
is,
Ba-
and that
Backstreet
goes
Boys?
No,
against
for
your
Dead and Company.
normal trip type, I should say.
Well, the other issue is that I'm off work today, so I have all
Mhm.
the mental energy in the world to throw at this, and everyone else is doing a job.
Yeah,
So I'm
fair.
texting me, everyone respond, and no one's responding because they're actually doing work.
Okay.
And I am just on my phone getting a pedicure, rapid fire, 20 messages in a row. So that's like a logistical issue that we need to confront.
Got it.
I think if I had free reign, I would just pull the trigger and start buying stuff. But I'm not going to do that on people's credit cards. It's an expensive concert. It's the last weekend, so
Oh, okay. So it's people. It's not a your run of the mill Sphere ticket,
yeah.
because
So
who knows
that-
if they're going to tour again? Is that kind of the vibe?
I think that they'll probably tour again, but some people in the band are getting quite old.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
you know,
You never know, is what you're
these
saying.
people like to tour, but
Uh,
I'm not putting anything on anybody. I'm just saying, anything could happen. People,
Right.
every day could be the last day.
shouts to the Pope.
Yeah.
Shouts to the Pope.
You know what they say? Don't blink.
I think what they say is don't meet with JD Vance. Probably.
There's that speculation out there that he murdered the Pope, but
I think.
I was doing another Kenny Chesney song.
oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where we're going with that. I am interested. People were joking about how the movie Conclave was put on Amazon Prime today,
Uh-huh.
and how I saw a tweet. Forgive me for forgetting you tweeted this, but the idea was that deal had to go down. There's that IP exists. I don't know who owned it prior to this past weekend, but somebody had to pick up the phone yesterday and be like, "Hey, can we put Conclave in our library?"
What is Conclave?
It's a movie
Pope
about
guy?
It's a movie with Colin Firth. Can you look it up, Randy?
Okay.
Conclave movie. about the choosing of a new. It's like the process that
Oh, okay.
they go
okay.
through to choose a new. I believe in that case, fictional pope. I've never seen it.
Is I'm not Catholic, so
I'm
I'm about to get yelled at by people in their cars. But is the actual term for choosing of the new pope called the conclave?
I think the conclave is like the
like
process by which,
right,
or the college of cardinals is it like this specific process is for choosing a new pope.
I was baptized Catholic.
Same.
I have not been Catholic since then.
Yeah, I'd ask my parents, but
I think we literally were baptized Catholic, and then
Mhm.
I didn't step foot in the Catholic Church probably for 20 something years till one of my friends got married.
I'm confirmed Catholic, and I went to church Sunday. How
about
my mom
that?
was in town for Easter. That was the first time I've gone to church in probably over a decade.
hit me with a cast.
Ralph Phineas, if that's how you say it.
Ralph, yes, he's one of
Stanley-
those
Stanley Tucci and John Lithgow. Those are like
Lithgow. There's a couple guys that you see him on the street and you're like, damn. Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes. That's how
Yeah.
you say it. Okay, yeah.
I don't think that's how you say it.
It's probably not. I don't.
I'm pretty sure that it's pronounced fine.
Could be
Well, I think that's a fine pronunciation. How about that?
one of those guys that you just kind of see in movies.
He played
you're like, all right.
Voldemort. And
Oh,
I
did he
just am
really?
not even going to
Yeah.
attempt to say his name because I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong. So, but
Well, here we go. Look at us butchering Catholicism,
I'm sorry, you guys.
Ralph's name. And
I don't even think it's Ralph.
it's definitely Ralph.
Reef is a reef.
What?
I don't know. It's
I like
REIF is like how I have the pronunciation on.
how to pronounce.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia. It says Ralph, right?
I don't
Yes, but I think it's British.
Ralph Nathaniel Twizzleton Whitcomb.
Twizzleton.
I swear
Okay,
it's
hold on,
Twizzleton.
hold on.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at him.
Oh, it's
It's pronounced Rafe.
Yeah,
it's like
Rafe.
almost like
Oh,
Rafe.
Rafe.
Rafe Fiennes.
Shouts to Rafe from.
It's Rafe
Fine.
Fiennes.
Rafe
Yeah.
Fiennes,
Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say Ray, which I knew was wrong, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it looks like Ralph Fiennes, and anytime I've ever said that, people have been like, that's wrong.
Look
You're
at
an
him,
idiot.
man! What a guy.
Rafe
Fiennes.
Fiennes.
Okay. So I apologize to my fellow Catholics out there. I apologize to Mr. Fiennes,
If our Voldemort heads out there,
Harry Potter stands.
we apologize. We should
apologize.
just move on before we dig ourselves.
Let's move into a follow-up from a
Okay.
previous episode.
Okay, great.
This comes from our friend who said, y'all were spot on a lot in your answer about my sister coming to my graduation. There was it was up in, she wasn't supportive. She was away from
I
her
remember,
family.
yeah.
Okay. So my parents are super boomery. And yes, my sister did ruin her own wedding with her own attitude. Happens.
Wonder if the sister thinks she ruined her own wedding with her own attitude.
Here's
She
the
probably doesn't.
Here's the update. My sister texted me the weekend after the episode aired and said she would rather go to her husband's cousin's high school graduation, which is the same day as my law school graduation. Go figure, all that angst for nothing. But I think we were both relieved, and honestly, this will be for the best. Thanks for the advice and for being the soundtrack to my studying these past couple of years while I've been in school.
I barely wanted to go to my own high school graduation. Going
She-
to
this-
an in-laws
Just a
cousins,
very convenient other place to be. So I think everybody
the
everybody
sister
wins.
sounds like she sucks.
She does.
I mean,
but-
we said that.
Oh, potential spam calling me.
We
wanna-
said that on the
Yeah.
episode, but damn,
Yeah.
high school graduation, it's not you or your sibling or your kid.
Her husband's cousin.
That sounds awful. Truly.
I love how she gave us more insight into her ruining her own wedding by saying she ruined it with her own attitude. Yeah, we could have guessed that. I want to know the juicy
I know.
deets. I
We
want to know
do-
what
we
she
need the
did.
deets.
Yeah.
We need was the donut wall not, donuted
Exactly.
enough?
What attitude?
Golly. I know. Were the hors d'oeuvres a little too cold or too hot? People, Bridezilla situation.
Where the bridesmaid gowns not the shade of
Oh,
pink that you
God
wanted or
forbid.
something.
They're not the same shade.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next question because it's about
I just want to
an
know.
entire novel long.
Hit us.
Oh,
And I just want
wow.
to say, people, Tactical. This is not that.
This is not tactical,
Okay.
but it is good information. Here we go.
Hi, Sally and Brett. I wrote in about 2 years ago when my boyfriend kissed another girl at a music festival. Well,
remember
we
this.
stayed together. Things honestly were so amazing 3.5 years in that we moved in together a month ago. The first weekend I flew home to go to my sister's baby shower, he cheated on me again. And worse this time. And we've now broken up. Now he's moved out and agreed he will pay rent until I figure out what I'm going to do. I honestly am incredibly heartbroken and still processing everything day by day. When he moved in, he replaced my roommate in the 2-bed, 1.5 bath I've been living in for the past 5 years. So it's definitely not something I can afford to take over on my own. I'm really stuck in my decision on what to do as a 27-year-old newly single woman. Here are my options. 1, looked at a studio that was in the backyard of someone's house close to where I currently am, and it's a bit of a stretch financially, but they agreed to bring the price down because they like me. $200 under asking, but $500 more a month than I currently pay. But they would raise the rent after 1 year and would make it more of a stretch. This place would require me to sell off a lot of things I own and has no laundry. Rough but doable and really nice spot. 2, find a roommate to fill the current spot. Already have posted on my socials to investigate my options. I'd really like it to be someone that I know or a friend of a friend, and trying to stay away from a Facebook random. This would let me stay in my budget and keep the same home I love. And it might be nice to have someone around as I go through this all. 3, say fuck him and make him pay until the end of the year and start looking for jobs out of state and hope for the best. My biggest worry is turning down the studio and then not being able to find a roommate and being in the same situation in a few months, but with less options. I'm also trying to not make an emotional decision because I'm still reeling from this breakup. Any advice on how to move on from a relationship you thought was endgame and also get my living situation in order is needed right now. Thank you for all your advice as I enter into single girl summer.
I remember this. And
fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah,
Girl,
I mean,
you are better
it
off
doesn't
now.
feel like this right now, but bullet dodged because I know like this sounds callous, but the advice you're probably getting from everyone, which is the true advice, is like you gave him a chance and that's okay. People sometimes deserve second chances, not every time, but sometimes. You didn't give him a third chance, which is important in my opinion, and you cut it off at the very egregious behavior before you got engaged, got married, had a baby, really laid down roots. The annoying part is that he moved in. So now you are dealing with this situation, but the breakup sucks. The morning of a relationship sucks. It's not going to get easier, but it is it's cleaner in the sense that you what happened and you're not gonna dilly-dally around and
no
wonder if you're gonna
trying to-
let him
yeah.
back into your life. It's over now. Right?
Correct.
So find that silver lining, at least. Even though this totally blows.
Mhm.
I am in okay. I'm like a big neighborhood snob. When I find a neighborhood I love, I don't want to move out of there for any reason. And I like to stay where I am, especially when I know my spots, have my coffee place, I have my walking route. This was the same thing in Houston. It was I would pay more to be in the neighborhood I liked because because it was close to work and this and that. And that is worth the convenience sometimes. But I think that the townhouse or the back house thing is maybe not a good deal.
Okay.
I get where she's coming from. As somebody who's I love my neighborhood and I have tried to make some either house purchases or rental situations work in our neighborhood, but often she's giving up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, very much so. You'd have
to stay in the neighborhood you like, but not have laundry. That's a
Huge
big
deal.
pain in the ass.
Mhm.
Huge pain in the ass. You're gonna have to go to a
and pay
laundromat
more.
and
you
pay more
decrease
and
your
get all your
space,
stuff.
which
You got to get rid of your living room, all your kitchen stuff. Not all of your kitchen stuff, but a lot of it.
totally.
And either store it because the thing is, you're gonna stay in the studio for 3 years and
It's a lot of storage money
right.
on top of.
I don't
paying
think the
more.
studio is a good option.
I would
If you
agree
already
with you.
if you were coming from a single bedroom apartment and you had less stuff and you were okay, this is a similar situation. I get that. But you've been in a house with a full bedroom setup, a living room,
guest room.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
roommate's room, but
Now you have all this crap stuff, not crap. and then you're going to get rid of it and you're going to pay more. And then,
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a not a leap, but it's sort of a hard pivot that I don't think you necessarily need right away.
right. I just don't think that this is the best option. It probably is the most attractive because it's like, okay, I'm going to downsize. I'm still going to be in the neighborhood. This is cute. Like, but sometimes having to try to force that puzzle piece so hard is not worth it.
Especially when it says it's pretty much like they're giving you or they would be giving you more of like a gift for a year, and then it's definitely going up. So then there's a timeline built in already
Right.
that then your options, you almost have fewer options because
Right.
there's a built-in like, okay, I figured it out for a year, but then I got to go get my stuff. Just doesn't make a ton of sense, I don't think.
I like the looking for a roommate
Sure.
option.
I
I
love that
definitely do
idea.
not think you should go random roommate. That
Yeah.
is not a good idea.
I've heard way too many horror stories. I've been very fortunate my whole life that I've always lived with someone that I've known really well, and I've only heard bad things about random roommates.
Maybe there's a backer out there who wants to be your roommate.
Yeah, I mean,
There you go.
look, you do have sort of built-in like ex-boyfriend support payments for however long, because he is going to pay his side of the rent for X amount of
The
time.
cheater fee.
The cheater fee. Yes.
I think you try to get a roommate and continue to live by yourself as he pays his way. And as you get closer to your lease being up, like when you're a few months out, you either decide you're going to move or like move out of state, like she said, or
Mhm.
just move to a different house.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, no house is forever, but I don't think you need to like break this current lease just because he's
Mhm.
going to pay
Correct.
and he should.
Yeah.
in my
Oh,
opinion.
absolutely. And so I think you sort of like deep breath. You're moving on from this relationship. Mourn it, learn from it. Obviously, not your fault, but like now you know what you want. You're 27. You're still very young. You still have plenty of time. And so time is obviously the great healer and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to jump into, especially if he's paying his half of the rent, so you're still in a comfortable financial situation. Thinking about looking around, you don't need to jump into the studio. You don't need to jump into a random roommate or something. Like deep breath.
Right.
He's going to pay his way for however long, and that's kind of going to give you the time in the immediate future to heal. Let time do its thing. Let the pangs of grief be washed away by the waves of time, and
I
then go
think-
from there.
I feel like the studio is the emotional choice because she's like, I want to get out of this house.
Yeah, it's like a new fresh start, downsize, like you said, just kind of like get out, go. And I think that's maybe a little on
I
the
think that might be a
impulsive side.
mistake.
Yeah. So look around, see what else pops up. I don't think you need to look at the studio as a missed opportunity. Look at it like just not the right place at the right time. And then keep looking around in that same neighborhood. If you do love it that much, there are going to be more options. The rental market across the country right now is great. And then two, if you do that for 6 months and decide, all right, I'm going to really bounce, then you go somewhere else.
Mhm.
Look out of state, find something. In the meantime, though, what if you got into some Factor meals, Sally?
Yeah. Eat healthy so that you have one less thing to think about.
There you go. You don't have to think about food at all with Factor, because they make this season your best with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor, where eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any lifestyle. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. And it's easy to savor more this spring because Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. Randall, big Factor guy.
Love Factor.
What are you working with lately?
Just the best food that they got.
The broccoli cheddar situation.
I cast up the cauliflower rice.
That's what it
every
is.
single time. It's so good.
I'm a big fan of their smoothies. Their grilled chicken is phenomenal. They do like a sun-dried, not sun-dried, but like cherry tomato balsamic chicken. That's fantastic. No mess. Heat and eat. We are different though. I do plate my factor meals. You said you go
Make it
still
feel
wild to me.
more special.
Yeah, you said you go right out of the box.
I go right out of the box.
Man. Hey, that's what makes Factor great. There's different ways to enjoy it. Eating healthy all the while. So here's the deal. Get started at factormeals.com/mail50off and use code mail50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code mail50off at factormeals.com/mail50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Hello, Brett and Sally. I could use some help figuring out how to navigate a tricky conversation with my fiancée. We're both active, in good shape, and generally health conscious, but our shared weakness is food. We both tend to give in to cravings, especially when it comes to takeout or sweets, and we're honestly bad influences on each other. We've gone through phases of being disciplined together, but lately I've been sticking to our healthy routine more than she has. I'm all for balance and moderation, but sometimes it feels like she goes overboard, like, for example, ordering a slice of cake mid-workday, or eating a whole pint of ice cream on a whim. Also, I'm not sure why, but doing this during the middle of the day drives me the most crazy. When I gently try to bring it up, she gets defensive and says it's harder for women because of hormonal cycles, which I totally want to be sensitive to. At the same time, I see how it affects her. After a few days of this, she feels low energy, she breaks out, and ends up feeling down about herself. I don't want to come off as judgmental or controlling, but I also feel like there's a better way we can support each other through this. So, am I the asshole here? Is this something I need to shut up about and let her handle on her own? Or is there a way to approach this conversation with empathy that won't make her feel attacked? I'd love to hear your take. That is delicate.
Okay.
Like angel food delicate.
Is that a cake pun?
Yeah.
Being in relationships, specifically ones that are like long term where you are going to marry the person, means having to accept some people's
Cravings?
weird behaviors. And I'm not saying this is weird. I'm just saying, like, I have friends like this. I have a friend who, two friends who are married to each other.
Okay.
One of them eats very healthy. The other one eats like a kindergartner.
Okay.
But like,
yeah.
And I think especially when not anymore, actually. I feel like they've both kind of like veered towards, they've like come to a compromise of like eating
semi-healthy
the same way.
Okay.
Especially when you're like people's food habits are, one, so personal, and two, very societally ingrained in them from different inputs. So like how your family ate growing up, like what is cultural to you, like everything shapes you, right? And so some people, it was like normal to eat out 3 times a week. That's what their family did. Some people never, ever ate out one time. Their mom made every meal for them, whatever. Some people were exposed to a lot of vegetables as kids. Some people literally did not have a green item until like they were 22. Some people ate mac and cheese every day. Some people, were like eating sushi at the age of 2. Like everyone's different. So I think this is one of those, I don't want to say cultural, but like kind of cultural things that shocks people about being in relationships.
Yeah.
Because like food is such an inherent part of our culture and society that like it's very much shaped by your upbringing. And that's one of those things. Same thing as like, do you keep your room clean?
Do you make your bed every day?
Are you a morning person or a night owl? Like all of those are things that you have to get used to when you are in a relationship with somebody else and deciding whether or not like their habits annoy you enough to cause a problem.
Yeah. This feels like there's like a below the surface sort of impulse control question that he's kind of getting at with the cake and ice cream, and he's coming at it from a point of empathy with being like, I see how it affects you after you do it for 3 days and you don't like yourself after that. So is there like coming at it with empathy? I think you're doing correctly already. And now it's getting to the point where he wants to have sort of maybe a more pointed discussion about it.
Right.
But I don't know how you, I literally don't know how you can approach that because you've already kind of tried that, and she knows the behavior is, not optimal, and she tells you that she knows that because she gets defensive about it. But it doesn't sound like it's going to stop unless she makes the change herself. And so maybe all you can do there is sort of encourage the discipline on your own side of things and like offer to make dinner, offer to bring her lunch or whatever. Or maybe we dial down the sweet treat to like from a piece of cake to like a Justin's peanut butter cup. Like
Mhm.
maybe the fix doesn't need to be so indulgent
Right.
and can be more of a quick fix, right? We start there and maybe have some of those around the house, or we kind of start dialing it back versus trying to eliminate the behavior altogether.
Yeah.
And then if that gets out of control or it still is not getting better, then we can discuss like, hey, the person you are after you do this for a certain amount of time, I'm less attracted to, or it's different than you. So it is delicate. But I think you can kind of start doing small things like making more dinner yourself and kind of taking on what you can control in terms of being more of a bad influence
Mm-hmm.
and making that change internally. Externally, maybe kind of dial back the sweets to littler things or things that can satisfy those cravings that are not pieces of cake and pints of ice cream, and see if that changes things at all before having sort of a ultimatum conversation.
I really feel like a lot of the change has to be driven by her.
Oh, totally. Totally.
And so making comments about what she's eating, I don't know if that is the move. I mean, like, yes, we have gone through this several times where it's like, do you comment about somebody like wanting to be healthy, things like that. I think if she makes a comment like, oh, like I feel so gross after eating that cake, be like, oh, okay, like next time let's just like split whatever. Or,
Mhm.
I think if she says something that gives you the ability to expand on that, but I wouldn't like let her order a piece of cake and be like, you sure about that? Because that
No,
feels very
no.
controlling.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't what if she's like, hey, can I put this DoorDash order on our credit card or your credit? Like,
I think that
let's get
there's a very
takeout for
fine
dinner.
line of like becoming controlling and
Being disciplinary, right?
like you don't want to be controlling. You don't want to be like, I'm just thinking of like my mom, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like my mom being like, are you sure about that?
Oh yeah. I think this guy sounds like he's careful about that.
So but I think there's a fine line there. Cause I think
Totally.
if you say something, it feels judgy. If you don't say anything, you like let them do their thing. It clearly is bothering him. But I also think it's like, how is it affecting you unless she's like constantly whining? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's affecting him from like he sees how it affects her, and then it changes her personality about things or changes his level of like, I don't know, attraction. I don't know.
I think I get wanting to support her if she's feeling down.
Sure.
But like, and if she's like, I'm overweight, I don't feel well, blah, blah, blah. And that's constant. And she's ordering cake. Then it's like, okay, maybe that gives you license to be like, hey, like, why don't we try to like cut out sugar for the month together,
Mhm.
whatever. But honestly, it's the way I took it, and maybe this is because I'm like being defensive of her, but I'm like, it sounds like he really has a problem with the fact that she orders cake midday.
Yes.
And what's that doing to you, man?
Well,
like
he says right
he
here,
said-
after a few days of
Yeah,
this, she
he sees
feels
how it-
low energy, breaks out, and ends up feeling down about herself.
Yeah, and that's
okay, and like to be honest, who doesn't feel down about themselves every 3 days? Like when you're
Yeah.
on an emotional roller coaster of hormones from your period, yeah, you feel like shit every 3 days. I don't know why. Now I'm like fully turning on this guy. Like I think he like really has a problem with the fact that people like aren't saving cake for the steakhouse. Like, I don't know. I don't know why it's like pissing me off.
You said specifically it's the midday cake order that really gets
Like, truly, dude, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't know. Now I'm kind of pissed, actually.
Yeah.
To walk it back, if she's really, really struggling, and I'm talking like she's sad, depressed, like talking about her weight constantly, etc. But if it's just like shouldn't have had that queso. Like, do we realize that like cake, sugar, calories is pretty equivalent to like having a fucking, I don't know, drink?
Sure.
You know how much sugar's in a frozen marg?
Frozen
Like,
marg, yeah.
I can't really get a feel for how much I
Empathize. Or just
I can't get a feel for like how bad this is.
Sure. Yeah.
I can't get a feel for like if he just is so grossed out by the midday cake order that he has like projected his own shit onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if this really is a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need to dig into that. Like, I see how it affects her.
Regardless of it, it's like, this is how any change happens. Like, when someone is an addict or to sugar or alcohol or whatever, like, the change has to come from them.
Has to. Can't,
and I don't think midday cake is intervention worthy.
No, unless it's like truly leading to health.
Like, if she's going into like diabetic ketoacidosis every time she has a midday cake slice, then like, yeah.
Then we can talk.
We're talking ICU bills here.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
Don't yuck the yum of midday cake.
It really like came off to me as judgy. Sorry.
I'm going to be judgy about not even the midday cake. Door dashing the midday cake. You're getting cake delivered?
Yeah.
To your workplace?
Go get the cake.
Randy.
I hate DoorDash when it comes to like delivery and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
Who DoorDashed 2 pints of ice cream to our house the other day.
Oh,
I'm aware how much DoorDash is like and get stuff delivered.
It's not even that. I'm talking about specifically ice cream. And I'm like, we don't. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I let him do it because I don't care.
Yeah.
What he is eating, like, I know it affects me. What he wants to do is his own prerogative. And you know what? I was kind of glad he did it because I had a bite later on. But
yeah, no, I'm kind of with you, and I'm kind of with the guy because I can see how the midday
I just think
cake
it's
is
like,
just,
well, let's be done judging what people eat.
Yeah, it's provided there's no long-term effects.
Like, if you want to, like, if she's really down, you want to like be like, let's cut out sugar, let's stop drinking, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have a community health initiative. Great, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think like this is the person you're going to marry, and likely when she's pregnant or postpartum or like pissed at you for judging her about cake,
mm-hmm.
she's going to fucking want to order a piece of cake. Maybe I'm hormonal.
Let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake. I don't even know if I answered that.
Next
I feel
one?
like I went round and round about that. Yeah. Let me pull up the doc. Okay. Hey, Brett and Sally, should I feel bad for skipping my cousin's wedding to take a trip? For context, sorry, when I first read that, walk was right below it, and I thought she was saying she was going to skip to take a walk, and I was like,
in that case,
you should feel bad. Should I feel bad for skipping my cousin's wedding to take a trip? For context, this cousin and I are not close. We talk maybe once a year when we see each other around the holidays. I am taking the bar exam just a few weeks before the wedding and haven't really taken any vacations since starting law school. My friends and I found a time that works for all of us to go to Georgia for a golf trip, and it conflicts with the wedding, so I decided to take the trip instead. However, my family is pressuring me to go, saying that I should prioritize family over a self-interest trip. This isn't the first time I've had to miss a family obligation over the past few years, so I'm a bit conflicted.
Couple things here. Your cousin doesn't give a shit.
Correct.
Your family does. So that's number one. Two, I mean, when you get the chance to go on a golf trip with the boys and it's not an immediate family member, I think, especially like a not close first cousin or something like that, you take that opportunity because you don't know how many of those you're going to get. And then 3, he's dealing with the guilt of the having missed a few, kind of the abacus is running up. So there's a little bit of a guilt factor there that wouldn't normally exist had he been betting 1,000, right?
Yeah.
And so assuming that has something to do with being, in fucking law school, because that, takes time.
Yeah.
And weekends, obviously. So shouts to doing that. But no, I don't think you feel bad. I think this family, the family pressure will wane. You'll get a couple jeers and sneers, and your parents will deflect and get some shit from there. They're the ones. It's like you're the pawn in this, as is your cousin, and your parents are the knights and kings and queens duking it out, right? In the family group text. That's what this is about. One extant family event away from here, and you're back to good. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I come from my mom's side of the family is really big. She's the oldest of 5. Every single one of her sisters has at least, I think the one with the least amount of kids is 3. But we have 20 something cousins.
Sure. You're not going to bet 20.
None of those cousins, by the way, were invited to my wedding. But we also didn't invite any other extended family members.
That's why the cousin here doesn't give a shit.
The cousin does not care. Text your cousin. Hey, so sorry to miss the wedding. Can't wait to celebrate with you. Send a gift.
Boom,
You're coming out of law school. Who cares? Your cousin doesn't care.
Correct.
Your aunt may care.
Your mom's sister and your mom care because it's a little.
But again, it's. I don't know, Randy. I feel like you may feel differently than this. I am not as close to my cousins because I'm the oldest on the cousin side. My youngest cousin is literally younger than my niece. So we span a very large. The oldest of us is 38. The youngest of us is 12.
Sure. Yeah.
So we see them again, maybe once every year or 2.
Had the cousin walk at the holidays?
But that's it.
Yeah.
And so if one of them is having some sort of event and I can't make it, it is what it is.
Right. This goes back to the boomery parents
that's what this is for me.
This is boomer parents.
They have an Excel file of who attended what.
And your parents are going, so who cares?
Yeah, this is the older generation being way closer to family knit than our generation and stuff. And it's their siblings' kids, so they feel like you should feel as close. To me, this is just say that I already booked this and I'm going on it. Don't feel too guilty about this.
Yeah, we'll give you the agency to release that guilt. See him at the holidays, congratulate him, send a gift, maybe a pizza stone, and
you still got those. Yeah,
I have a lot of them.
The first one of my cousins that had a very small, only immediate family, that was a big deal to my whole aunts and uncles and stuff, that they weren't having a wedding and they're not getting invited and all that. I was probably, I think, in college when this was happening. I'm like, but why does it matter? They want to have a small wedding, but
yeah. I think our generation, we just keep up with cousins differently and second cousins, and because we text and face their generation didn't have that, and so these events were the meeting of the minds, when you get the family together, and it's just changed, and unfortunately that's gonna stay the way it is for another 25 years.
I think after seeing how the cousins have, even my brother didn't have anyone. It was just his wife and the officiator. It's going to be better, but but I already knew that if I were going to get married tomorrow, I would have to tell my mom, I'm inviting the aunts and uncles and the cousins. You don't get to invite all of your friends. That's
It ain't.
It's my wedding.
Mom's social hour,
and that would have been a hard conversation, but I think at this point it's past that.
Yeah, you're good. Have fun. Hit them hard. Hit them straight.
Yeah.
You know what the number one thing your mom wants from you, Sally?
Maybe your aunt whose cousin's wedding you're missing.
Or a phone call.
A phone call.
A phone call. I wish I could give one. But this Mother's Day, you can give her a call, of course, and give her an Aura digital picture frame.
Mothers love these. So do grandmothers. Do
aunts.
Great aunts. So do regular aunts. Some grandfathers. Father-in-laws.
Yeah, probably. I'd say
any
so.
parent, anybody who's boomer plus age. We
Really,
also keep one in our room. I'm a mother and I love it. Actually, I don't know anybody who doesn't have one of these.
Yeah, my grandma has 2. She has a living,
We have 2.
She has a living room. There's 2 in the living room that are on opposite sides.
Dueling auras.
They're dueling auras. Yeah.
Are they synced though? Or are they just we've got different?
Ooh,
I hope they're not synced because I feel like it's better if the pictures. Feels.
I don't think they're synced.
Because who has 2 pictures of the same picture next to each other?
It's like flashing. Yeah. No, she's got chair, end table with an aura, couch, end table with an aura, chair. Just killing it, Grandma.
We have one in our kitchen that honestly, if you have a young child, Fritz loves. He loves to stare at pictures. He's so psyched about it. He loves seeing other people. He loves seeing himself because he's a little narcissist. He just sits in front of it. But then I have one on my bedside table that we have.
There we go.
With all of our family photos on it.
Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter and featured in 495 gift guides last year. Shouts to the person at Aura that compiled that data. So next time you need to call your mom, you can also send her a new pic of you from that trip you're telling her all about, right from your phone. So if you're that guy from that question, you can send a picture of your golf trip to your aunt during the wedding. That'd be really fun.
Exactly.
You know what else? I mean, yeah, you could immediately upload it because of the app, and the app is very user friendly.
Very.
But I want to make sure that we're not excluding the pet parents because who loves to look at pictures of pets more than people who own dogs?
Yeah.
Or cats.
Why? I don't even know why we thought to exclude them in the first place.
Think about the amount. If you have a dog or a cat, how many pictures are on your camera roll of just your dog? Pre-children, I had probably 5,000 photos of Rosie.
Really?
Not really, but I can probably look at it right now.
While Sally does that, I'll give you guys the deal. They have a great deal at Aura for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com. Promo code MAILIN. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout as well. Terms and conditions do apply.
Hey, Aura, you want a little added value here? Here you go. I'm gonna open up the app.
Randy is
mid
sending during an Aura read, uploading a picture to his mom's Aura.
Yeah, my mom was just in town this past weekend.
She's gonna love seeing that.
I'm gonna post that on her frame. How about that?
She's gonna love that.
Look at that. Golly, I don't know if that's ever been done before.
I have 1,072 photos of Rosie, and I have gotten rid of many.
4 digits.
And I'm going to put all of them onto one Aura. It's going to be the Rosie one.
Just at dog head level?
Yeah, so she can look at pictures of herself. She'd probably love it, TBH.
Thanks, Aura, for sponsoring this episode. Do you want to get into the next one, Sal?
I thought I just read one.
Did you? That's my turn. Hey, Brett, Sally, and Counselor Randy.
Ooh.
Sounds like a Will Mommy.
Yeah, it's a Will Mommy right there.
Love the pod. I'll get right into it. Another wedding question for you. He's not a Will Mommy. He's a 28-year-old male getting married this summer at a destination wedding with a guest list of about 60 to 75 max, depending on who accepts. We intentionally kept the invite list small, and that unfortunately has led to some tough decisions on invites, but overall, been a pretty smooth process for my fiancée and I. I booked an Airbnb.
Fiancé and me, but okay.
I booked an Airbnb for my bachelor party, and me and my 5 groomsmen easily fit with room to spare, which made me think about who else may want to come and spend a weekend in the big southern city near us. Outside of my groomsmen, there's really only a few other guys who I'd want to come. We'll call them Dave and Dylan to keep it simple. Dave was invited to the wedding with his wife. They unfortunately had to decline. But Dylan was not invited to the wedding. He was one of those tough cuts. He hasn't met my fiance, is not in a relationship, just finished his advanced degree, aka has student loan debt, and lives at home to save money for now. So it felt like an easy one to justify not getting an invite to a destination wedding. I just can't imagine he'd fly across the world for a wedding by himself. When I mentioned I'd want to invite Dave and Dylan because they're a good time, both get along with my groomsmen and they live close by, my fiance was appalled that I'd invite Dylan to my bachelor party without an invite to the wedding too. I didn't think much of it and didn't consider it rude at first glance, but now I'm in my head. I don't think he'd be the type to get offended, and the expenses for the bachelor party are minimal. We're talking Airbnb fee of a few $100 plus gambling money and one nice dinner. Should I even consider inviting him, or just let it be sticking with my OG groomsmen.
I think you stick with.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
VOG.
I was.
This is getting get awkward.
Let me get a summary here because I was still uploading that photo. So pretty much, this guy is close to the bachelor party area, but he's not invited to the wedding.
He was one of the tough cuts.
So he's cut. Yeah, I don't think that is weird to invite someone to the bachelor party that's not going to be going.
He
to the
also
wedding.
hasn't
Now,
met the fiance.
He hasn't met the fiance. Now let me ask y'all this. Is this, if he's in this friend group, sounds like they're in the same city, is he about to be hanging out with the friend group post, like bachelor party, post wedding? Just being like, oh, I guess I was the odd man out. Not that like it's a devastating thing, but I could see the cause for hesitation.
Okay, but you already were going to not invite him to the wedding.
Correct. He did not make the list. Now, is there room to invite him to the wedding? Like, do you extend sort of not a pity invite, but knowing that the chances of him saying yes are low, do you extend him that invite just to sort of know that he'll come to the bachelor party because it's local, cheap, etc., knowing that he won't go to the wedding? Like,
What if he does want to go to the wedding, though?
Then he takes Dave's spot, who said no. I think, I mean, it depends on the value of the friendship here. Is it a long friend? Is it a short friend? Is it a work friend? Do you want to be friends with him for years? Are you planning on introducing him to your fiance? Do you want him to be a part of your married life? Like,
okay, but I'm currently sitting in a room with somebody that we did not invite to our wedding, who's still part of our lives afterwards. Hi, Brett.
shout.
And this is the case with several people that we are still very close with. That
Mhm.
like we made the cuts. It was tough. There were 50 people there, 47, whatever it was. And those people are still in our lives and they were not invited and everything is fine.
Sure.
And like, I feel like this is just like, just keep it to your groomsmen and be done with it. It's already kind of weird. I think if you have the type of bachelorette party where you're like, oh, like I have 3 bridesmaids and then I'm inviting 17 people and we're all going to Cabo.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. But like, he's the only dude who's not a groomsman and he's also not going to the wedding. Like that's kind of a slap in the face.
It would be weird. Yeah, it would be weird. It would be weird for sure.
So I think you
make it
leave
easy.
Dylan alone. Let him keep being your friend.
Make it easy by doing just the groomsman thing. I understand the hesitation, and I understand the temptation too, because it's like, oh, he's one of the boys of the group. Like they already like him, they already know him.
This is my question too. What he means by close by, because he's talking about the bachelor parties. Close by.
It sounds like call it. Everybody lives in Atlanta. That's kind of what it sounds like.
If they live in the same city, I think you can even say like, hey, we're going out to the bars. Like you can come meet us out there. Like if he's there, but
so
like
you're saying don't even like Airbnb him.
Yeah, no, like
right,
if it was in Austin and he lived in Houston, like that's close by technically, but I wouldn't even like there. But if he's in the same city, just like hey, so this is going to be like if you're around, like come meet it, like definitely like come meet us
that's
easy.
easy.
That's actually
invite him to the golf round if he lives in that city.
Sure,
great.
Yeah, hey, come be a part of the something.
But if he's gonna have to travel at all to actually and have to stay at the Airbnb, then
don't charge him the fee. Like
don't have
kind of leave it open. Okay, I like where we got to on that one. Capiche?
Capiche.
Next one, Sal.
Last one. Are we doing both?
Let's see where this one's a novel, so let's see where this one goes.
Why do I keep getting the novel one?
Do you want me to? I'm
going to do it quickly.
Okay.
How to play a spring break fling. What is that part of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is kind of like the.
Sorry, I haven't read this question yet.
The title of the question.
Okay. Hello, friends. I'm writing this one on a flight home, so buckle up. It's a long one. Yeah, we know, Karen. Here's all the tea. I got out of a 6-year relationship back in December and haven't really been focused on dating. But during spring break, I was at brunch with my family, and as I walked in, we immediately made eye contact and we played eye tag throughout brunch. And I didn't really think much of it. As she was leaving, she left her name and number on a napkin on the table. Bolt. I was in. First date drinks. She had an out to meet friends. After an hour, it ended up being 3 hours. Insane vibes. The awkward silence felt natural. Blah, blah, blah.
That's Sally saying that, by the way. Not.
No, they said it felt natural. Blah, blah, blah.
Sorry. Spelling in context.
Okay. Just dropped her off to her friends. Hug goodbye with plans to hang out again. There's very little punctuation in this. It's very tough for me. Day 2 was ice skating. Perfect way to break the touch the barrier. We held hands briefly. She grabbed my arm for balance and all that fun and flirty stuff. Got a drink later, more fun and flirty banter. Went to go drop her off. She was fumbling around in her purse and just sort of extending the conversation, talking about the field behind her house. I knew the vibes. I asked if I could kiss her, and without hesitation, she says, absolutely. I'm kicking my feet, driving home.
Giddy.
I think this person was drunk when they wrote this. Next day, she was feeling a little sick. I brought her soup and Gatorade because I'm a gentleman and we kiss again. The last night I'm in town, I asked her on day 3. We went to Topgolf, had a great time and some drinks. We got a little competitive. It was a good time. Went to drop her off and she invited me in for wine. TMI, she had a good time. I, however, had a little bit too much to drink and so I didn't do myself any favors. She's all caps, beautiful. So I was nervous. Happens to the best of us.
Is he implying what I think he's implying?
I think
get it
that-
up.
dude,
get it hard.
We are. Is he writing this on the way home and like
Yes,
setting
on the
vodkas in?
plane.
Anyways, as I'm leaving, she says we need to have an adult conversation. Shit, we talk about the logistics. I'm getting rid of my PhD in it.
He's
Getting my
it.
PhD in a different city. I'm in like a manic pixie dream right now. In a different city, a few hours away, so the distance is a problem. We're different religions, etc. But the pros are great, like such good conversation. I can't really ignore. We go back and forth talking, making out in between. This is like 30 to 45 minutes. At like 2 a.m, my mind is playing ping pong. It's in a blender. She mentions the dating scene in our city isn't great, and I know where she lives. So next time I'm in town, just show up. I don't know how to take that really. Is she just saying that to be nice? Does she really mean it? I'm new to all of this. Before my flight the next day, I had a moment of rom-com weakness. I left her a note on her doorstep. Jesus Christ. Just thanking her for the dates and being such a fun person to meet, and I hope we stay in touch. Cringe. She later texted me that it was a nice note, very movie-like. Now I'm back home. We haven't spoken much. Texted a few times, but she didn't reply to my last text. I'm telling myself that she either died or in reality just cutting off something so early because what's the point? I don't want to do too much. I don't even know what to think. I could just be making this all up in my head. All I know is I don't want to fumble something. Dude, take it for what it was. A fun time for 3 days.
Fling, a
be
fun
done.
3 dates, a fun, fortunate circumstance where you weren't
If you
able
come
to.
back to each other in 5 years, great. Kismet. But like, don't.
I'm going to say you have one more Hail Mary opportunity. One last text. And if that goes poorly responded to or unresponded to, that's that. One last Hail Mary being like, hey, I don't know what this is. I had a great time. I like you. Can I engage in something with you coming up? Just
No.
something to look forward to.
I'm just gonna be. You're honestly thinking with your heart here, and you need to start thinking with your brain. I'm gonna be the voice of reason here. Logically, where is this going? If like how
Nowhere,
is a
right?
long,
Well,
is
I
a
mean,
long-term like a long
PhD
distance
in another city, long
Yeah.
distance already. You don't your first dip back into the dating pool to go LDR
Yeah.
is not ideal.
You look back at this.
But he was in a 6-year relationship. It's new. It's fun. It's flingy.
Exactly.
It's,
That's
no,
what this is. Yeah.
exactly. Let it be what it is.
okay.
Quick story time.
Mm.
The year before I met Will, because we famously, not famously, I guess famously to us, connected during March Madness
I did
2015.
not know that.
Or right before March Madness. The thing that led me to Sunday Scaries
Mhm.
was March Madness 2014
Mm.
in Vegas. I was out with my sister and some friends, and we started talking to a bachelor party of like 18 dudes at Tao.
Nice.
No, sorry. Yeah, Tao. So we start talking to them. They invite us to come with them to someplace. I think it was XS. That was what was cool. Freaking 2014. To their table, and we're like, yeah, that's great. On the way over there, I start just really hitting it off with this guy.
Mm.
His name was Chad. And we are just vibing on all levels. We're just being best friends. We talk all night. We end up in the casino at 2 a.m. We are
Perfectly flingy.
just having, but no physical stuff, just having the time of our lives. He was the bachelor of the bachelor party. I found out. And I was devastated because I was I think I'm in love with this dude. And the next day was I have just never had this spiritual connection level with somebody. But obviously he is the bachelor of the bachelor party. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing did happen. Literally when I found that out, I was goodbye. And like the next day was like so like in such like a weird true physical hangover, moral hangover. Like, did I just like
Sort of like
lose
grieving
the love
something
of
that
my
never-
life?
yeah.
But like he's literally getting married in 3 weeks. Like
Oh my God.
weird hangover situation.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I tweeted about having Sunday Scaries, to which Will liked that tweet, which is what led me to finding the Sunday Scaries website, which led me to read the entire archive of Sunday Scaries on the plane
Whoa.
to make myself feel better. And then following that website for a year, even though he was anonymous, and telling my friend that I was going to marry instead that guy who wrote Sunday Scaries, which is actually what happened. So I'm here to tell you that when
Whoa.
things feel like they're just so meant to be, maybe that is not what's meant to be. Maybe that's just a different part of your story.
But maybe it's meant to be because it needed to be, because like it sort of was meant to be.
Yeah, because I just
Because it-
connected spiritually with a total online random human being.
Wow.
Turned out to be my
How
husband.
did Will like that tweet? Did
Because
just, like,
he used to search Sunday Scaries on Twitter and interact with people.
Oh my God.
You don't know that story?
No.
Oh.
I feel like I've
Did
heard
you
of
know
it.
that
Will
story?
wrote
No,
an
I'm-
article about it for Man Repeller.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Huh.
all that to say, I swore you could have asked me in 2014, like Chad and I were like just clicking on all levels, no physical stuff, but like clicking personality wise.
Mhm.
And I remember turning to my sister and being like, this guy's great. And then we found out he was the bachelor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That big step back there, but it doesn't change the fact that you've like had this like amazing chemistry with somebody,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
And honestly, it kind of like fuck Chad for like doing that when he has a fiance.
Fuck
But
Chad. What's Chad up to these
I
days?
have no idea. But sometimes we just have connections with people, and that's okay. And
And they can be chapters in our book. That
exactly, of like something you can look back on and be like, that was a great time.
brief
Like
flings.
let it
Yeah.
happen. Don't push it, because honestly, the more that you try
Mhm.
to make something happen, I really do believe that. And that's like the shittiest advice ever. But like all of the stuff of like when you stop looking for something, when you least expect it is
Mhm.
when something happens. But like what happened with Will and I was like something that I did not expect, from something that I was like a real, 6-hour letdown of connecting with somebody.
Damn. So would you
So-
say maybe don't build things in your head up?
Right. Maybe don't build it up in your head. And I'm sure it was
Plan
wonderful.
lives together.
Oh, yeah. You want to say that again for yourself?
No, I'm saying maybe don't build.
And
things
what I'm
that
saying
may or
is
may
that
not
it's a
happen.
lot easier when you have 6 hours or 3 days with somebody where you've
Yeah.
only been connecting about XYZ, and you haven't had to live with them or live in the same city as them or talk about hard stuff like how whether you're Christian and she's Jewish or
Mhm.
whatever, and how you would raise your kids and what political party you are affiliated with, and whether or not you order cake at lunch. But like those are things that
You are
seem
painting a
No.
fucking masterpiece.
well,
right
but like
now.
those are things that seem like they don't matter
in the
3 days
in that
in,
moment, right?
after date wonderful 3.
Yes.
But they do matter. And trying to force something like that, like if it happens, it's going to happen. But like her already not texting you is like, maybe this is your out to like just have a beautiful memory and be done with it.
And maybe don't drink so much wine next time.
This poor guy.
Where I want to meet this girl. She's beautiful, all caps, and she's leaving
that
her
was like a-
number, and she's
Yeah,
talking
I
about
was-
going to
what
the
a-
field
what
in the
a
back
move.
and all that. Jeez.
Yeah, she really leading you along until
And
you.
like honestly, maybe her inhibitions were down because she knew you were gonna like leave in 3 days.
Yeah.
yeah, that you know what? Fair.
Like, you know what? Sorry, I just moved my mic. Like, I just had this thought, like maybe Chad was just like vibing with me because he thought that like he could cheat on his fiance one last time. Like maybe he's a
Golly.
real piece of shit. We don't know
Yeah,
because
we put
we've
pedestals.
put it in the
yeah.
past. Chad got left in Vegas, okay?
Damn.
And we moved on to greener fields in the back of our house. So I think let it be.
Speaking words of wisdom.
Wow. Last one.
Sure. This is all for you. So here we go. Hey guys, any Italy recs? I'll be going for a week in June, flying to Florence. I've never been, and I have no idea what I should do.
Okay, I'm gonna be quick about this, even though I
Tactical.
do love Italy.
DM Sally for a more what do you want to call it? prodigious.
In-depth
Yeah.
itinerary. I will say a couple things. I'm not going to give specific places because I think when people like do travel guides, and I am just the number one instigator of this, but like me being like, this restaurant was so great. Like when, like for London, which is one of my favorite cities, like if I tell you like 4 restaurants in London, like there are like literally
Gazillion.
700 great restaurants in London. Like
let's go to sushi in Tokyo. Okay.
Right.
Like, okay.
Italy, Florence is going to be hot. Not like unbearably hot, but hot and busy.
Firenze.
If you are able to get out of Florence, I think spend some time in Florence. But like I personally did not want to spend a week in Florence in the summer. We were also there in August, which was a little hotter, and August tends to be like a kind of a weird time because all the Italians go on vacation. So stuff is closed. So June will be better for that, but it will be lots of tourists, which is still fine. Like Florence is easy to walk around. It's beautiful. Again, like a jillion great restaurants, like you can pop in wherever. Will and I can probably find this and send it in DMs. I have like a city guide that someone sent me, but like popped up and like we're able to like get drinks on a rooftop bar. I mean, our hotel had a rooftop bar that was like packed, and we like went 2 blocks down and like climbed up this freaking cathedral like spiral staircase and ended up on a rooftop just like drinking Campari spritzes with like some lady who like literally wrote it down and then made us pay in cash. So still really great.
Sounds
and there's
dope.
a lot of like pockets like that in the city.
Is that the Duomo? Il Duomo?
Great shopping.
Cool bridge.
Yeah, you got the whatever it's called. I'm like so brain dead right now. Anyway, Florence is great, but Florence being in like a real hub for places so you can. And one thing I would recommend if you are going to either keep to Florence or bop around is like use the train system. Train system is awesome. I think you can like get on Eurorail.com, or you can go to the actual Italian train website, which is called Train Italia or Freccio Rossa, which is like the brands of the trains.
Sure.
Train Italia is TREN Italia. And book trains places. So like you can go to Rome, you can go to Naples, you can go to Pisa. Pisa's really close if you want to do a day trip. You can go to Siena and do like, obviously in Tuscany, there's like a bajillion wine tours you can do. We did a really cool, somebody picked us up in Florence. We went out to Chianti. They like put us in a really old school Land Rover and we did a wine safari where we just like ran around.
Safari sounds so sick.
Land Rover and like went to like a pretty modern winery, and then we went to a vineyard was like owned by the same family for like centuries. Like all of this exists like on literally like TripAdvisor vacation. Although I will say that using Katie at Lux and Nick's or anybody on her team they do Italy like 1,000 times a year, and they
got a pretty unlocked.
Yeah, we did a cooking class with the girl who was from Florence who like came and picked us up at our hotel. We walked and like went to the market with her, and then we cooked at her house right outside, or like in Florence, but like in the country part of it, which was really awesome. Like ate outside at her house. That was so baller. If you're gonna move around Italy, I would, if you're gonna be there for like a week, I would be like a couple days in Florence, maybe a couple days in Tuscany, and then like pick somewhere by water that you want to go, whether it is
Portofino or
the Amalfi Coast, or you want to go to Cinque Terre, like Portofino, or you want to go to Lake Como. But like, you're not going to hit all three. They're too far apart. So pick one and like go there for 2 days.
I gotcha. I like it.
I probably have recency bias. We loved Lake Como. There's some like really cool Airbnbs. We loved the hotel we stayed at. I also loved Amalfi. Amalfi is so busy in June. So busy. Como is as well, but it's not as bad as like July, I think. Portofino is going to be the same thing. It's going to be really, really packed. But there's pockets of like places you can be that are like a little less. Like one of the places we stayed in Como was like the first place, Villa d'Este was in a city that was like really packed. But then we were at Lario, which is like way more chill, and there wasn't that many people there. So there's tons of little towns you can bop into without being.
I like
really
the idea,
touristy.
and I love those wrecks, but I love the idea of building an itinerary based on like, I don't know, like doing something versus this already sounds dumb. what I'm saying is I want to drink a white wine on the Amalfi Coast. I want to eat homemade pasta in a hole-in-the-wall Italian place in some Roman hole-in-the-wall blankety blank. I want to eat pizza on Lake Como versus going and being like, go to blank, blank, blank.
Right.
Go to blank, blank, blank.
We drove last time.
Mm-hmm.
We drove from Tuscany to Como. It was like a 5-hour drive. We stopped in the middle and ate. I personally don't know that driving was the move for us.
Okay.
Like, I would have rather taken a train. It's going to take the same amount of time ish. And it was more complicated for us to take a train. So we drove. Will was violently hungover. And I was like, not in a good place either. It was just like, it was too long for him to be that hungover and for me to be driving. Like, it was like 6 hours.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So,
and once you get to the
and you're in a foreign country. So,
the car doesn't really work, right? Or like, does it? You don't need a car.
We ended up liking the fact that we had a car in Como because we had to go from Este to Delario, but
which is a drive.
Which was a drive. Yeah. But my other must do, if you are on a body of water, lake or ocean, do a boat day.
And if you find Sally's phone, let us know.
If you find my phone in the Mediterranean, let me know. But I would like literally, if you can budget for one thing and blow money on one thing, it's a boat day with just you and whoever you're with. Cause like you don't, on the Amalfi Coast, we like chartered a boat.
Yeah.
It was expensive, but it was just the two of us and our driver. Then we would like pass boats that had like 45 people on them. And like people are all like jockeying to the front to like see the grotto. And I was like, this is my like nightmare. Yeah. I would rather pay 4 times as much to be by myself. But again, that's coming from like, we budgeted and we were like, that is what we're going to
That's going to be our big ticket item.
Yeah. So that was me personally. Like, nothing feels as baller as like being on a boat in Italy. So
I don't disagree.
If you go to Lake Como, I have some recs for you of boats.
Damn.
Frankie's on the lake.
Italy's on my list. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Italy,
Almost did a
Italian summer rules.
Oh, I'm sure.
They know how to do it.
Sunset boat cruise in Key West. Something about doing it by myself felt a little like indulgent. I don't know. I opted for just a oyster bar instead.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to little towns and Mr. Ripley just being on a boat by yourself.
Yeah, true. That's going to do it for us today. Sally, please subscribe to the show, rate 5 stars, review. Tell a friend about it. Hit the hotline number to leave a voicemail, 888-362-6245. Or you can write it in at the link to the Twitter bio at Mail In Podcast or in the description of this episode. Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram.
I am Brett Merriman at Schmerriman on pretty much any platform you can find me on. That's Randall Trimbacky on the ones and twos. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Sally. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.